welcome to AAF Creative Zen, which is sponsored and powered by the local chapter of the American Advertising Federation of Greater Fort Lauderdale and the Palm Beaches, and Choose 954, a social movement started to cultivate culture and community here in Broward County, where I'm fortunate to be from. We started AAF Creative Zen as an effort to continue connecting, engaging, and inspiring our local creative community one Friday morning a month, the second Friday morning of the month. It's been very impactful on my life from listening to talks like this. I'm sure if you're tuning in, you've heard a TED Talk before that's left an imprint on you. So we want to be able to continue that inspiration locally for our members of the local American Advertising Federation chapter, and just local members of the creative community, graphic designers, artists, copywriters, creative directors. Even if you're not creative, I wasn't a creative person, and listening to talks like this led me to my aha moment that led me into the arts and culture. And if you didn't know who I am, I'm Evan Snow, the host of Creative Zen, a arts advocate, community builder, and creative entrepreneur behind a bunch of things in Fort Lauderdale supporting the arts. We couldn't do this without the support of the American Advertising Federation local chapter, headed up by President Jacob Enfield, who will tell us a little bit about what they are up to and what they do to support creatives.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jacob Edenfield. I'm the president of our local chapter of the American Advertising Federation. If you don't know what AAF is, it's a membership group for industry professionals and folks adjacent to the industry in advertising and marketing. And our chapter here covers the Fort Lauderdale metropolitan area, all of Broward County, and then all of Palm Beach County. So if you are interested in what we are up to beyond Creative Zen, please check out our site, AAF SFL. We have information on becoming a member. And I also want to mention that our annual awards program, our national awards program, the American Advertising Awards, has just opened for entries. It is a competition that starts at the local level here in our area. We have an awards gala of some sort, probably virtual, in February. Then winning entries compete on a district level and then on a national level. It's one of the most prestigious awards programs in the industry and one of the largest honoring the creative spirit of advertising. So more details to come on that soon. If you would like to stay in the loop, stay connected with us on social media or sign up for our newsletter on the site. Again, that's AAF SFL. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at AAF SFL as well. So yeah, very happy to be here, very happy to support Creative Zen, and very happy that we're heading into award season, which is always a fun time of year for us.
Amen. Thank you very much, Jacob. Jacob's done a phenomenal job of creating more engagement, programming, ongoing learning opportunities for folks, either if you're in the advertising and creative space, or even if you're not in the advertising and creative space and want to learn about it. Jacob's been instrumental with the team in getting creative writing workshops started with a former speaker, Asia Sampson, and other great events that really have taken the local chapter to a very engaging level with hackathons that some of the artists that tune in have participated and benefit from. So we encourage you to check it out. Marco happens to have his own ties to the advertising industry, as well as being a very talented artist and creative. And this month, we're very excited to bring you Marco, who's originally born in Venezuela. He came to the US in 2011, an alumnus of the Neptali Rincon Art School and Centro de Bellas Artes de Maracaibo? Close enough. Maracaibo, thank you. Where he received his BFA and his MFA from the Art Institute and the Miami International University of Art and Design. Currently lives in Miami with his husband, and previously has worked in many universities as an adjunct professor. He creates works inspired by romantic and existential stories in search of universal hope, influenced by Latin American culture. Marco's works, sometimes abstract and sometimes figurative, maintain a juxtaposition of textures or figures as a poetic reflection of his environment. His works are part of collections in Australia, Venezuela, and the USA. He's an art director currently at the Red Line Media Group, working on the Hard Rock account, which many of you are familiar with the big guitar-shaped hotel, which the Red Line Media Group has been instrumental from a local agency perspective and members of the Advertising Federation in really servicing large multinational, international accounts that Marco's on the forefront for. So we're glad for somebody that's worked on projects with the Lenny Kravitz, Miami City Ballet, and others to bring you Marco Caridad to share his insight and story with us this morning. Thank you, Marco.
No, thank you. Happy Friday also. Finally, we made it, guys. Thank you for having me. My day job is, as you mentioned, as an art director at Red Line Media Group, an award-winning Native American-owned agency with focus on exceeding clients' expectations. I oversee Hard Rock Cincinnati, Sacramento, and Hard Rock Support Services, which is basically the HR department for the 174 countries. Our mantra is in Red Line Media Group is working together works. So every time that Hard Rock Cafe needs an illustration for drink toppers like this one, I do it. Or if another account needs a campaign like this one, I'm here to help all the time. But what I really, 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 really enjoy is have the opportunity to save the planet with creativity. I always push for it. At night and during the weekends, I am a visual artist addicted to making art that expresses critical reflections on modern realities. I love to make big, huge paintings. I explore with printmaking on acid, linocut, and monotype. And I write poems every time I do a nude model drawings. I'm also the co-founder of the One Club for Creativity Miami, aiming to create a platform that supports local creative professionals to advocate their beliefs and search for solutions to our problems. For me, this is my mantra. We have to pursue our dreams. Anything it is, just fight for it. I am from a place where being an artist has only really bad connotations. But in reality, making art has developed my path for creation. I love making art. I cannot live without art. I even created an award-winning theater group called Kayak. I developed leadership skills by teaching art, writing performances, directing actors, and understanding musicians. I took many risks. For example, our first production, Project 2 Mishima, was written by Yukio Mishima, explored the fusion of cultures by mixing Asian and African mysticisms. In fact, there are many paths to experience creativity. We must dare to stretch our arms and embrace other stories unrelated to what is already known. That is why I produce many plays that aim to innovate by incorporating multiple disciplines such as video, live music, clown, and Muppets. This image shows you an example of how you can develop and maximize your creativity with the theater performance. For this especially, I designed the costumes, the lighting, the scenography, the music, I wrote the play, and I even directed it. I had the honor to participate in the Divine Comedy. I'm gonna play a little bit of it because it's kind of long. But it's a classic book from Dante Alighieri. And it was a production as important as here it could be Broadway in Venezuela. That's me. I was only 19 years old. So, but when I moved to Miami, I did not speak any word in English. I didn't understand anything. It was a challenge. I didn't have any friends. But I found out that through performing in visual arts, I was able to express myself, my feelings, and I started exploring with that. This video is part of the series Our Planet is Dying, which I have experienced myself. I'm from Maracaibo, home of the South America's largest lake and one of the oldest bodies of water of the planet. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to swim in those water due to oil spills. The contamination is horrible. Lake Maracaibo has become the largest garbage dump on the planet. During my recent trip to Mumbai last year, I also experienced the result of the contamination on a larger scale. The majority of people in Mumbai were coughing because of environmental pollution. They were sick as a result of undrinkable waters, and a shadow covered the landscape buildings against the gray sky. You couldn't see the sun. The constant noise. We, we couldn't speak outdoors because you cannot hear anything. In short, it was what science fiction movies warned about. The destruction of the city where only the wealthy, tourists, and politicians can escape. Although levels of environmental pollution in South Florida are not as high as in Mumbai, and our beaches are not surrounded by garbage dumps like the Lake Maracaibo, why wait until we get to that moment? And why do not only, and we don't have to only deal with the global warming threat, but also pandemics now? Everything that is happening worries me as an artist, as a creative, as a human being. For example, who is fighting against the deforestation of the Amazon? Nobody. My art pieces are the result of more than 2 years of exploration, of a gestural exploration. I was determining the best usage of my mixed media technique because I wanted to base on coffee and candle wax. Coffee is very meaningful for me, and for all the Latin American culture. You see, Cubans cannot drive without or wake up without a cafecito. Venezuelans have more than 10 versions of coffee. And for me, my mother, for example, doesn't drink water. She drinks only coffee. That's the way that she is. And candles, we have a Catholicism culture very strong. And I have an image in my mind that I never forget of going to church and lighting on candles. And I picked abstract expressionism because when you are doing action painting, you are doing a performance. And we know that that's my background in theater. By continuing investigating art as a means of expression, I've made this to feel or not to feel series, to communicate my existentialist stories. And this piece in particular was created because I was in shock about the superficial culture here down in Miami, where when I moved here, I was looking for love, very romantic and naive, but others were there just because. Or this one that expresses that we shouldn't take anything for granted. I really miss the feeling of swimming underwater, but now I just can't because I had a tumor in my inner ear. I had a dream, making a 360-degree solo show in a beautiful gallery. It was anything but easy. I had to find sponsors, plan an agenda with a curator, find the right curator that understands my art, planning my performance, because abstract art is not easy to understand to everyone. So I wanted to produce a performance that helped understanding the concept behind it, and the right person to do it. I wasn't able to do it because I needed to meet the people and plan everything. So I fly in a dancer from that I knew it back in Venezuela, that I was working in New York for Broadway. So I flew him in and doing the rehearsals. And at the same time, the life on a contemporary artist that is emerging is very difficult because you have to have a day job. But you know what? When you want to do something, really want to do it, and you're passionate about it, you can accomplish it. And that video showed how you can do it with passion. Right now, this is the process of the explorations that I'm working on. Pandemic luck obviously influenced. You see in the background how I used to paint, and then creating collages, incorporating more figuratism to it. Or then Assure influence also there, always present. Or printmaking materials that I'm doing when I'm making the sketches on my digital app and then take it to the linocut and paint it and print it to create pieces like this. And my latest series of work that are inspired on the oxytocin, because when we close our eyes when kissing or making love, it is a demonstration of our interest to concentrate on the sensation at the moment. It is to feel deeply. For scientists, it is the result of the drainage of the love hormone, oxytocin. For me, it's a symbol of willing to blindly indulge yourself to love. What is for you? Are you willing to indulge yourself to love? I invite you to visit my current exhibition at the Art Surf, and there you can see my latest series. Ta-da!
Wow, I saw it the other day. I was at Art Serve. Andrew actually commented that he was really blown away, and he actually didn't realize it was you. So that'll be a funny story when I tell him that. And I'm really glad that you shared about the environmental considerations as well, as I'm an environmentalist, and being able to use art as a problem solver on many different levels, human interaction and the problems that we're facing as human beings on a day-to-day, as well as problems facing the environment. Even if it's just raising awareness to change people's perspectives and consciousness, art has the power and the ability to do that. And I give you a lot of kudos and credit for using your work for good to do good things.
I feel blessed because in my day job, I have the opportunity to work with a brand that one of their mottos is save the planet. So every time, even though the client asks for a campaign that talk about, I don't know, a drink, and then I twist it and I bring the Save the Planet motto. And all the time, they cannot say no because it's within their brand standards.
And are you referring to the Hard Rock specifically?
Hard Rock brand in general, one of their motto, they have is Save the Planet. But I'm the only creative in the agency that always pushes for it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys have done some really instrumental work to get them to that point. There's something I don't think you knew that you had been working on behind the scenes. I'm going to drop a little spoiler in here, actually. Oh, I guess I can't screen share. Never mind. I'm going to send you an email afterwards about something that we're working on with the reefs and the hard rock that we talked about with SEMA that we need to circle back. But before we do that, I'd like to open up for questions and answers if anybody has any questions for our speaker.
Are you working with any youth now?
Wait, what?
Are you working with any youth now? I see that you're a great teacher.
Oh,
Or not now?
not at the moment. Not at the moment.
Too busy. You're busy.
Yeah, I would love to. I applied for the Project USA, but they told me that that they were already they had already their people. But I would love to. I love giving back to the community.
Yeah.
Yes, you should, and you will in time. You're young.
Yeah.
You have plenty of time.
I started very, very young, and theater. I own theater, many things. I wouldn't be able to be here today, speaking to you without fear, if it wouldn't be for the theater.
Amen. I'm glad that you shared
For
that.
example, I moved to a new country without knowing people, without speaking the language, and I was like, I'm fearless. I don't care if you don't understand me, I'm going to communicate.
Would you, you mentioned it briefly, and I don't know if everybody's aware with regards to the situation in Venezuela and immigrating over here, and you mentioned briefly about art and how obviously the culture is a little bit different over there.
Oh, yeah.
And would you be comfortable maybe sharing your insight and experience in regards to that situation, that people that might not be aware of what's going on?
Well, first of all, Venezuela is a very huge Catholicism culture. So being gay is no anyway. And I'm the youngest. I'm the younger of my family, and for me it was horrible. I wasn't happy, and also I wanted to do theater. I wanted to be an artist. So many things going around. How are you gonna live out of that? Are you gonna become gay? That's horrible. So I had to fight. And that in that perspective. Also the political situation, even though I was very successful, I was given, I was the younger professor in in different university. I was working with different theater groups. At the same time, I had a day job in a huge media company, and I couldn't sustain myself. And then I decided, because of the inflation of you couldn't. So I decided to move here and see how I could improve my living, because I have all the certification for a special talented visa, and they approved it, and I moved here, and it worked out.
And are you pursuing your American dream here?
And now I want to change the world, but genuinely, I want to. I'm happily married. I have an amazing job. I love Redline, working for this amazing brand that give me the opportunity to change the world through advertising and communicating. The being love is a very important motto for everyone, and doesn't matter who you love or what you love. Just do what you want and be happy. Respect others. That's what I want to do with that.
Amen. And I give you a lot of credit and kudos, especially from leaving what you had, where you had established your base and foundation, to venture into a new country and chart into the unknown is definitely a risk. And I'm very grateful and proud of you, and very pleased to see that you've navigated that storm to find success, rightfully so. Here in South Florida, and specifically Redline Media Group happens to be based in Dania Beach, in Broward County. So we're very glad. Just to kind of tie it back to the AAF perspective, could you maybe just give a quick summary, highlight overview as to Redline Media Group's position in the agency world in Broward County in terms of you guys win addies, you work on multinational accounts, big budgets, and anything like that?
I'm not a budget guy. I'm more like creative.
Sure.
But I can say that I'm honored to be part of this group. Redline Media Group is not only Native American owned, which Miss Tommy is absolutely lovely and amazing, the best person I've known in my life. Such an inspiration for me all the time. I won't let her down, never, I think. Cirque du Soleil has a saying. They say it's more difficult disappoint a friend of somebody that you admire than yourself, right? So that's what's happening here in Redline. Working together works. It's our mantra. It's because we love each other, we respect each other, we admire each other. So we work harder and harder because we cannot disappoint the group. And everyone is there in leadership is very proud of what we are doing, the projects that we are working. We built the branding for the first and only guitar-shaped hotel. The brand is in 174 countries. We have a huge production department. Sean is a creative director of the production team. I don't know, he's so smart, extremely skilled. He trains everyone, and I don't know if that answered your question.
No, that was good. No, it's just to give context though. Andrew, my partner, would always talk about, if we don't have multinational agencies working on these big international accounts, the talented creative directors, the graphic designers, and all the industry folks in between, unfortunately, if they don't have jobs and opportunities to work on these accounts and they want to pursue their profession of being a creative director or whatever they do, then oftentimes they have to leave and go other places, Miami, New York, LA, Chicago, to work for a bigger agency. You found one of the bigger agencies that lets you work on those large multinational accounts. I'm really glad that you mentioned the real boss. We actually had her speak, not during Creative Zen, during a panel discussion of women in the industry like 3 years ago at the NSU Art Museum. She's absolutely a power player and obviously a key reason to your agency's success. So I just wanted to give some context. You guys obviously have won a ton of Addy Awards, deservedly so, other awards, deservedly so. And we're very proud, because I'm a big Broward County native and community builder, to have you guys doing this work in Broward County for Broward County entities. So I appreciate you sharing that. And then we do have one more question. Michael, who's been a long time AF guy. Michael had a question.
Thanks, Evan. I live actually right across the street from the Art Serve there. Marco, is there any particular series you have up there, or is it just a whole smattering of your work?
No, it's my latest series that is called Oxytocin. It's the hormone of love.
Okay, cool.
And for me, it was a challenge because I don't paint. I'm not used to paint figuratism and acrylics. So let's see. That series in particular is very special to me, because what was happening every time that I look in hard rock, we have another motto that is love all, right? So every time that I go to the stock photography websites and I write love, it's a straight couple. And that was like very frustrating for me. I was like, oh my God, but why? Only straight couples. Yeah, of course. But, diversity. Where's the diversity? So for that series, I picked different straight couples kissing, and I changed the woman to a man.